If you're self-employed and facing financial difficulty because of the coronavirus pandemic, because of the new national lockdown being introduced in England on Thursday, well, I've got some good news for you coming up in this video. Details of an updated self-employed income support scheme. Hi everyone, I'm Martin Bamford, a chartered financial planner at Informed Choice, and in this video I'd like to explain the new updated self-employed income support scheme. So what we've heard today from the Chancellor Rishi Sunak is that financial support for self-employed people who are facing financial difficulty because of coronavirus is going to be updated for the period of the lockdown in England. So that's from the 5th of November through to the 2nd of December, at least initially. Lots of speculation over the last few days. That lockdown period may well be extended into December even further, but for the time being we know that the self-employed financial support is going to go from 40% to 80% of trading profits during that lockdown period. Now, what it actually means is that the next round of self-employed income support scheme grants from a period from November through to January is going to be paid at 55%, or actually 55.33% instead of 40%. And this is to make it equivalent with the updated payment terms for employees under the furlough scheme or the coronavirus jobs retention scheme. So equivalence for self-employed and employed people. So going up to 80% for this period during the lockdown in England. Afterwards, it will fall back to 40%. And we've got a couple of grants coming up, one for that period, November to January, and then another for the period February through to April. It means the government will be paying out an estimated £4.5 billion in support for self-employed people. Not all self-employed people qualify, and I'll go through the qualifying criteria for you so you understand whether or not you're likely to get access to this. So the first thing to say is you need to be either self-employed or the member of a partnership. This does not apply to company directors who are remunerated via dividends from their limited company. So they are part of a large group of people who are excluded from this type of financial support. Company directors who receive dividends may be entitled to furlough payments via that coronavirus jobs retention scheme. But actually, if most of your remuneration was via dividends instead of salary, it's unlikely you'll really qualify there too. There's an estimated 3 million people in the UK who are excluded from this sort of financial support. So first test as a self-employed person is, are you actually genuinely self-employed or member of a partnership? The second is that you are eligible for rounds 1 and 2 of this self-employed grant back in the spring and summer months. So if you were eligible, even if you didn't claim those grants at the time, then you can be eligible for the next round and the next round after that. So those criteria are really important. The third part of the eligibility is a declaration that you must continue to trade, or at least intend to continue to trade once this nasty coronavirus pandemic is out of the way. And then you must either be currently trading but experiencing reduced demand as a result of coronavirus, or you've ceased trading, you've given up trading because of the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. So assuming you meet all of those criteria, you should be able to apply for a grant under this new updated self-employed income support scheme. The grant itself is calculated based on your net profits during the 2018-2019 tax year, so from the 6th of April 2018 through to the 5th of April 2019, the profits you have already declared on your tax return. If you don't have sufficient profits in that tax year, it's possible to go back for the 3 previous tax years and work out your average trading profits for that period and base your claim on that. Because we've now gone up from 40% to 55.33% for that period from November through to January, it means the maximum grant payable will be £5,160. Announcing this update to the self-employed income support scheme, Rishi Sunak, Chancellor of the Exchequer, said, "So far we've provided £13.7 billion of support to self-employed people through the crisis, and I've always said we will continue to do everything we can to support livelihoods across the UK. The rapidly changing health picture has meant we have had to act in order to protect people's lives, and I know this is incredibly worrying time for the self-employed. That is why we have increased the generosity of the third grant, ensuring those who cannot trade or are facing decreased demand are able to get through the months ahead." So 80% of profits paid as a grant for that period of the second lockdown in England from the 5th of November through to the 2nd of December. Overall, for the third grant period from November to January, that means 55.33% of trading profits, up to that maximum of £5,160 paid as a grant. The other good news for self-employed people is that the window for grant applications is going to open a little earlier, a couple of weeks earlier than previously thought. It was going to open on the 14th of December. It's now going to open on the 30th of November, so the end of this month. So you should get paid these grant payments as a self-employed person a little bit sooner than you would have done before. What do you think? Is this enough financial support for the self-employed, given we're going in now to a second national lockdown in England, given the restrictions that are being placed on the self-employed to trade during these difficult times economically? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think about it. Until next time, thank you for watching this video. I'm Martin Bamford, and when it comes to your money, the more you know, the faster it can grow.